Welcome everyone to our webinar, Planning for Your Success. As a partner with Alika Organic Skincare, we want you to be assured that your success is a priority for us. We want you to not only understand our fabulous products and protocols to give your guests the ultimate in skincare, but also to excel in your business dreams as well. This webinar is an introduction to the fundamentals of business planning that can make or break our potential in this ever-evolving industry. We will demonstrate for you how to determine what your location's business potential actually is. We will share ideas for comparing what you're actually accomplishing to your potential numbers. And we will guide you through the reasoning of goal setting and offer you some ways to continually analyze your success. Let's face it, we're all in business to be financially successful. What defines financially successful? What does that mean for you? Initially, we need to know how much money needs to be made in order to run the business or even just to break even. Then we want to be able to consider how much we want to make. What are our goals for the spa and for ourselves? And finally, we need to know how much we can potentially make with our current business model. What do we need to make? What do we need to make to break even? Well, we have employees that we have to pay. We have insurance to cover, rent, utilities, supplies, bills, bills, bills. You need to know how much you need in order to be able to understand how much money you need to be bringing in. How much are you spending? How much you spend determines what you need to be able to make in order to just break even. Obviously, we all would like to be a little bit more successful than just breaking even. So how much do we want to make? What are your goals? Do you want to grow your business to multiple locations? Do you want to have a mansion and a fancy car? Do you want to be able to go on really fabulous vacations? Send your kids to college? What are the financial goals that you have for your business? That will determine how much you want to make. Now, finally, we need to help you decide how much you can make. Let's make sure that your current business model is set up to help you successfully meet your financial goals. What is your business's potential? And that's what we're going to look at here. We have this wonderful revenue calculator that helps to determine what your business is likely to bring in with your current layout, staffing, hours of operation, and even your current menu pricing. For each area of service, look at how many rooms you have available, the days and the hours you're open, and your average treatment cost. This will show you per day what your service potential could be. What you're able to retail should be calculated in as well. On average, in aesthetics, we strive for 30% of our service cost to be done in retail. Once completed, this chart will show you ideally how much money your business could potentially make per year. This, of course, assumes that all rooms are filled for every hour of being open. So you should expect that your first couple of years, you're not going to reach the 100% potential right away. But knowing what is possible allows you to analyze your success. Plug in your monthly or even weekly numbers to see how your actual numbers are comparing to your potential numbers. This will give you a great snapshot of where your business stands. It's also going to tell you where you're going to need to improve. Now, ultimately, we'd like to meet 100% of our potential. Realistically, that's not going to happen right out of the gate, so we need to look at short-term and long-term goals in order to determine success. What do you need to accomplish this year or even this month to get where you need to be? Not only do we need to recognize what our goals are, but we need to devise a plan to get us there. For instance, if you discover that you are currently only retailing 5 or 10% of your services, your long-term goal should be to strive for 30%. Over the next few months, you'll need to set realistic goals to get there. So let's say within 3 months, you want to be at 18%. What are you going to implement in order to increase your retail sales? That is your plan. You cannot expect to achieve your goals without a plan. This is one of my favorite quotes, that a goal without a plan is just a wish. How do we set these goals? See where you are and compare it to where you want to be. What is it going to take to get you there? If you're a single esthetician, you alone are accountable to meet your goals. Challenge yourself. If you're part of a team, each member of your staff needs to know what the goals are, what the expectations are. You must communicate clearly your goals to your team because they have to know what is expected of them. And then they need to be held accountable. Oftentimes, that's the toughest part for us. So let's break down a goal example. Let's look at a way to set a goal, breaking it down step by step. First, determine how much you need to make. In this example, we need to make $500 profit from our retail. With the 50% margin, that means that we need to sell $1,000 of retail items to profit $500. Divide the $1,000 retail sales by the number of therapists you have to achieve that goal, and you will determine each therapist's individual goal. Sometimes it helps to break it down even further to make it seem more attainable. If your average product retails for $50, each therapist must sell 5 products to reach their $250 goal. How many guests will each therapist see? And that will tell you how many products they need to sell to each guest. If they only see 5 guests that day, they'll need to sell about 1 item per guest. Setting your goals for your team is extremely important. This is how they know if they're successful. Setting a plan to meet those goals is crucial. It's not enough for you to have an idea of what needs to be done. It must be clearly communicated to your staff. How do you expect to meet these goals realistically? Your plan needs to be communicated clearly, and rewards and consequences of failing to meet the goals must be set precisely. Your plan must be executed in order to be successful. Goals and a plan mean nothing if they are not implemented. Weekly and monthly sales goals need to be communicated accurately to each team member. They need to know what their service goals and retail goals are based on the number of hours that they're working. Keep track of these numbers and post them frequently so that they always know exactly where they stand at all times. If they're doing extremely well, reward them. Some people respond really well to gifts. For instance, a top salesperson will get a Starbucks gift card or something like that, while others just like to be recognized. For many people, an increase in commission, making that extra money because they're selling more product, is a great motivator. So find out what's important to your staff and reward them accordingly. But if their goals are not met, there do need to be repercussions. Not all people are motivated by just rewards. If there's no downside to failing to meet their goals, some team members may slack. What are the proper consequences? Well, of course, it again depends on your team. The consequences could be write-ups, maybe shorten their shifts, maybe put them down the line a little bit in the booking order. Determine what's going to motivate your staff and implement a system, but make sure you communicate that system clearly. Working together as a true team toward a common goal is, of course, the best way to succeed. There are many obstacles that businesses will face, challenges that must be overcome to be successful. There are also many benefits or advantages that you will have that will help reach your goals. Be aware of your hindrances as well as your advantages. Know how to maximize the positive and overcome the negative. Which brings us to SWOT analysis. SWOT, SWOT analysis, is a tool that we use to evaluate areas of your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Strengths. What are the strengths of your spa? What is currently working well? What makes your location unique? Maybe you have an incredible staff. Maybe your retail space is beautiful and you have an amazing visual merchandiser. It's important to recognize what is working positively in your favor. Weaknesses. What are some weaknesses that you can see? What are the areas of your business that need to be revised? Maybe you have an inexperienced staff. Maybe your social media presence is weak. Your floor plan isn't maximized to a good flow. What would you like to improve? One thing that is difficult to recognize for managers and for owners is that if you personally are not passionate and engaged, you are a weakness. If you don't love what you're doing, it is time to reevaluate. An incompetent front desk can also be a weakness. Threats. What are your threats? Threats, not addressing your weakness. That's a big threat. What is keeping your business from growing? Is it a communication issue within the team? Time constraints with your guests? Is it perhaps a lack of confidence in their own skills? Recognize what is a threat so that you can overcome it. And finally, opportunities. Opportunities are areas of growth potential. What can be done to turn the weaknesses around and to eliminate the threats? More education? Practicing our verbiage through role-playing? Increasing our social media presence? Maybe redesigning the boutique to maximize space. The idea with SWOT analysis is to devise a plan to create strengths out of weaknesses and eliminate threats. This SWOT analysis tool is fantastic for managers to use to look at their business and to look at their team. This is a great exercise to even have therapists self-evaluate. During reviews, look at their strengths and weaknesses and help to devise a plan to overcome their threats. Next review, check and see how far they've come. Another type of planning that is very important to the success of your business is planning your calendar. Determine when you will run certain promotions, Mother's Day, spring makeovers, back to school, etc. Find times in your business that are slower and plan for additional educational opportunities during your slow times. Know your financial budgets so that you can schedule properly during busy times and lighten up the staffing a little bit during slower times. Fit your finances into your budgets for payroll, purchasing, etc. To recap our planning for your success, determine your potential. Analyze how your actual numbers compare to your potential and create realistic goals and plans to maximize business. SWOT analysis is a wonderful tool to look at annually to help keep your goals and potential fresh. I hope today's focus has given you some ideas and different ways to look at your business, some tools to help you move forward. I also hope that this is the beginning step on your path to success. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for partnering with Elika Organic Skincare. As always, remember to live beautifully.